Let's get good. I am the Gamer Under Development, and this is episode 2 of my Warframe Beginner's Guide to the Galaxy. We are back with Volt today. We're going to be finishing off, or trying to finish off, our prologue missions here real quick. As we're doing that, we'll be talking a little bit about mastery ranks, different types of missions, that kind of thing. So if we check our navigation up here, like I've told you guys you probably should whenever you log in, we see that Vor's Prize is our next mission. We're going to go ahead and hop into that. This mission is a rescue mission, so it's a little bit different than the one we did previously. For this one, we just need to locate a sort of trapped prisoner. If we can do that without being noticed, it's actually a lot easier because we don't have a timer. But very similarly to the spy mission, if you are detected, then there is a timer before they execute the prisoner. And here we are on our Volt. Now we do have our Mark 1 bow here that we'll be able to, or rather our Mark 1 Paris bow here, that we'll be able to use to stealth kill enemies, so we can still kill stuff on our way in. We just don't want to be detected when we get anywhere near the rescue target, because if we are, they will begin an execution timer. So you'll see me using the bullet jumping trick that I've told you guys you should practice and figure out, but we also want to be kind of careful here and not straight up bullet jump through everything. Mainly because if we do, we will probably be detected, and being detected is not ideal. Oh, I think he's just stuck to the wall there. That is actually one of the nicer visual effects of using a bow. He's legit just stuck to that wall. Beautiful. Vor is, of course, working on breaking through to our psyche through the Ascaris, which we can see, once again, has spread to our right shoulder here. And we do know that if we kill people before they set off the alarms, then there are no alarms, really. I'm just going to bust these because we're in here anyway. Not going to worry about opening the lockers too much because there'll probably just be health and some other things in there we don't particularly need at the moment. Once again, just going to grab those since we are right next to them. Got a couple of targets here. You'll notice that we did kill both of them there with the bow at once. That's because the bow does have punch through. It'll go through one enemy into the next. Now that is based on a certain stat though, so you can make that a higher penetration punch through than that. Okay, keeping on moving, making sure we're kind of careful here not to be detected by enemies. And here we go, 2 more. And that time the punch through was not enough. I do love that they get stuck to the door though. The way that enemies react to bows in this game is actually one of my favorite parts of the game. You'll notice little paths like this. These are interesting little shortcuts and side paths you can take. Sometimes those paths are going to be more efficient. By taking that, we've been able to kind of go under here. We can then slide through here. So basically, keep your eyes open for opportunities to give yourself a shortcut to the end result. Where? Interesting. So I'm not sure where this is going to take us. Okay, so it takes us out the side here. And then in theory we can... Oh, no. In theory we can come up this side. Oh, I think I got recognized by someone. Okay. Got stuck on the edge there for a moment. Oh yeah, we got recognized by a lot of people. So we kill him, but it's not fast enough. The alarm's already been set off. Thankfully, we're not close enough to the rescue target for it to actually start the rescue target timer. We're gonna go ahead and kill everybody that's around here real quick, and we will go turn this alarm off, because otherwise enemies will continue to spawn. Okay. Now the enemies should not be spawning anymore. Got our stealth back, essentially, by taking them out. This mission's also very forgiving on this type of thing, because it is a tutorial mission. Anyways, if I had not botched that jump, it would have been fine. This right here is what's called a buddy door. If we had a second player with us, it would require 2 players to open it. This area is heavily fortified. Survey the area and proceed with caution. So that's their essential warning that if we get seen here, it's going to cause us some issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto this wire. If you press X when you jump towards a wire on PC, you can actually latch onto the wire. And kill that guy with stealth. Jump over here. Make sure that there's nobody that's going to catch us. And now we can move forward and hack our way into the holding cell area. Beautiful. So that's going to get us into the holding cell area. There is an enemy in here. We're going to take him out real quick and start opening cells. Is our rescue target there? No, they are not. So we move on to the next cell. Rescue target here. There we go. This is Darvo. He is our rescue target. We can give him our secondary weapon here, which will allow him to help us in combat. And you'll notice that our weapons and things are ranking up a little bit. Once again, if you monitor the static electricity up top, for Volt, it seems the static electricity does build a lot more when you're running, so I may do some more running with him than I would with other frames. Like, normally I just bullet jump through everything. But in the case of Volt, where we're actually getting a little bit more damage by running, it does benefit us a little bit more to be doing running rather than just jumping through everything. Is there a way for us to drop down here? There is. Okay, so we're just heading towards the exit now. We're not really interested in fighting with anyone. We don't need to. We've already got our rescue target. As long as he doesn't get pinned down and we can see his health and stuff up in the upper left corner, then we can just keep moving. Oh, no. So the Ascaris is burrowing deeper and deeper into us. Shall we see how your shields work? He's going to use the Ascaris to drop our shields here. Or rather not. I think he just applied a status effect to our shields. This is not the correct way. We need to be going over here. Hi there, Grenier. Bye there, Grenier. So we really don't need to build charge anymore, which means that we can just bullet jump if we want here. But it doesn't matter, because we're already at the extract. Alright, so that gets us through this very first of our rescue missions, and it gets us the mods segment. That'll allow me to show you guys a little bit more about the mods. Speaking of, we got a flawed continuity and a flawed intensify. Continuity and intensify are kind of standard mods that get used on most frames. That being said, these are flawed, so we once again don't want to spend a bunch of credits or endo, which is a resource we'll talk about when we look at the mod segment, to upgrade those because they are broken mods and we won't be able to upgrade them to maximum. That is the primary difference between flawed and non-flawed mods, is that flawed mods have a lower maximum that you can raise them to, so they're considered a waste because the non-flawed ones do go much, much higher. Okay. So. Ordis is telling us about upgrading our frame and things. So if we look at continuity here, for example, we'll just click that. Right now, this gives plus 3% ability duration. What that means is if we use our speed boost on Volt or our wall with Volt, it'll last 3% longer, roughly. Doesn't always translate straight across like that, but roughly. Now, if we go into start fusing here, it'll allow us to pay a little bit of money, credits, and a little bit of this resource called Endo right here, in order to raise this from 3% to 6%, and then from 6% to 9%, and then from 9% to 12%. Once again, we're not going to do that though, because these are all flawed mods, and we don't want to spend endo or credits on flawed mods. What we will do though, is we will back out and head over here, because our quest wants us to. Now, I believe what he's going to ask us to do here is we're actually able to access the upgrade part of our frame now. Okay. So this is the upgrade slots on your Warframe. This is on our Volt. We have 2 polarized slots. What a polarized slot is you see this capacity up here, folks? We've got 3 capacity, right? So watch what happens when we put continuity right here. Now we have 1 capacity, because this one costs 2 capacity, and it has the V symbol there, which I believe is... oh no, that's Materite. Okay. So the names of these are not particularly relevant until later on in the game. For right now, what you need to know is just how to recognize the symbol. So we'll just call this the V, we'll call this the tooth, and this the dash for the moment. So if we take a V and we put it right here, it costs whatever it says in the corner. Now you'll notice that we have this slot right here that's got a V in the corner. So what happens if we put a V mod in that slot? Well, now it only costs 1. The reason for that is if you put a mod in a slot that has a matching symbol, it actually costs half as much. So Intensify here costs 4, which means we can't even put it on our frame, right? But if we put it here, we can. And we still have 1 capacity left. Now that's not a great idea in this instance, because doing that means we have 1 capacity left and all we got was a little bit more ability strength from Intensify, and that's not really something that I'm after here. So what we're going to do instead is we're probably just going to go for redirection. We actually don't have enough for that. Since we don't have enough for that, we'll go for Vitality here. Vitality is going to increase our health by 30 right now, which isn't a huge amount, but it's better than nothing, realistically. So Redirection is going to be your standard shield mod, Vitality is going to be your standard health mod, and then later on we'll get a mod called Steel Fiber, which is your sort of go-to armor mod. The only dash mod we have right now is Stretch, but that would obviously sit in there for 1 point, so we can actually finish out our 3 capacity here. So now our abilities have a slightly higher range, and we have a slightly higher health on our frame. Not great, not great by any means, but with us only having 3 capacity, we're not going to get a ton of things out of that just yet. Now, what you will notice is that our capacity is tied to our frame's rank. Because our frame is rank 3, we have 3 capacity. We can also upgrade our weapons the same way. They have their own slots, their own polarities. So we have 4 on our bow. We can go ahead and put this Serration mod on. Serration does 10% additional damage with rifles. Rifles and bows are considered kind of the same thing in this capacity. And you'll see here that it shows us the raised stats. One thing I do want to point out is this. We have 4 capacity, this costs 2. Watch what happens if we put this in the wrong polarity slot. Now it costs us an additional amount of charge. So you really want to avoid putting things in a non-matching polarity if at all possible. There will be situations in which you end up doing that, and that's mainly because a lot of frames come with certain slots pre-polarized, but you really want to avoid that if at all possible. We're gonna go ahead and put Hornet Strike into our pistol here as well, which will give us an additional 10% damage with that pistol. And that should really... oh no, we have the Skana as well to upgrade, so let's go ahead and do... Pressure Point with the Skana. Oh, we don't have the capacity. We actually don't have the capacity for any of our melee mods yet, and the only non-flawed mod that we currently have is Reach right here. So there will come a point when the game, as part of the tutorial, wants us to upgrade one of our mods. When that point comes, we're probably going to upgrade Reach unless we get another non-flawed mod by that point. Alrighty, so now we are ready to move on to the next part of our prologue quest, which is to locate the Foundry segment. Now what we're doing during this prologue is we're just unlocking the different parts of the ships, which is great because it gives me a sort of natural opportunity to explain those parts of the ships as we get to them. There are ways to increase the capacity of your frame beyond 30, but 30 is the default capacity because, like I said, it's tied to your rank, and the max rank for most frames is 30. I don't think there's any frames in the game that actually violate that max rank of 30 rule, but there are some weapons that do. Alright. So we're just going to go ahead and head through. We need to locate the Foundry segment. This is going to be pretty much a straightforward just get past dudes and grab the thing mission. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to bother fighting stuff. I think you'll notice right there, we jumped through that window. You might wonder sometimes if there's a glass window there. There's almost never a glass window there. Just go for the jump, keep moving forward. Like right here, we really haven't had to fight anything, and you don't need to. You don't need to in order to continue progressing in many cases. So this is one of those cases where, because we do not need to fight anything, we're just not bothering. We're going straight to our objective here, which is this. And then now it's changed our mission goal to eliminate 30 targets, so now we're going to kill stuff, because it makes sense to. We've already been detected, so we don't need to use our bow. We can just use the Lado here. You can see the Lado does not have as much stopping power as the bow, but it is a higher fire rate because it is a pistol versus the charge-up time on a bow. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. And as we see, whenever we fire, our charge does sort of get added to the damage on that. You can blow up things like this crate, and it will damage any enemies that are around it. I don't use that very often, but it is something that you have available to you should you need it. And in the meantime, we have Vor here in our head trying to tell us that the Ascaris is going to mess with us. I can't remember if he does actually take our shields down this mission, but he might. So that's something to keep in mind during the prologue, is if your shields go down and you don't understand why, it's probably just part of the story. Okay, gonna keep moving forward here and killing dudes as we go. Hello there, friend. You can shoot things while you aim glide. It's actually really effective, especially with like bows or explosive weapons. Like if you have an explosive weapon and you're way too close to enemies to be firing it without knocking yourself over, then what you can do is you can literally just back jump, aim, and then fire. So that's something to take into consideration as well. Hello there, friend. Let me just give you a little Skana there. A little Skana for my friend. Where are you at? Hi. Bye. Okay, so we need 14 more kills. This is not going as quickly as I'd like. Sometimes it's easier because enemies will just spawn in big groups, but other times you do have to kind of run around and just scout them. Honestly, this early in the game, you can kind of just run around stabbing things with the Skana, and you'll pretty much get there in no time. It shouldn't be too difficult at this point. If you do find yourself having difficulty with the combat, remember that if your melee weapon is out, you do deflect shots, so it also functions as a survival mechanic. But this is the slam attack I was telling you guys about, and you can kind of see why it's really strong there. Like, they literally do not get to respawn. They just get popped up in the air, or they die. And you can just keep on going. And I'll just show that a little bit more here. It also breaks any containers that are around you, which makes it additionally useful for that kind of thing. So we've done what we need to do. I'm not going to hang around too much doing these, but I did want to show how that slam attack works, like, in practice. So we're just going to go past these guys. We did just break through that fan to get out of here, and that should be it for this mission. Right on. We are out, and we have got an achievement called Payday for earning 1,000 credits. A couple more flawed mods here. That's unfortunate. We did get another non-flawed mod, though, in Fury, which is really nice. Fury gives plus 5% additional attack speed on your melee weapons. It does cost more than we can currently use. Once we get one more rank on the Skana, though, we could theoretically use it. That being said, we might actually use a flawed mod here instead, just because plus 5% attack speed on its own will not greatly increase our damage output. Your Foundry segment is ready to be installed. This is our Foundry here. We're going to go ahead and install the segment. And as I said, you'll see this segment installing mechanic throughout the game. You won't just see it here in the beginning, you'll also see it all the way through to the mid and late game. There are different segments that you can be installing. For example, over here you will install one later that allows you to have pets, like cats and doggos. Well, they're not really cats and doggos, but they're space cats and doggos. So now we have access to our Foundry here. What the Foundry is used for is building things. So as you can see, we have a formula for an Arcwing launcher. We have a formula for an Ascaris negator, which is what we need to take the Ascaris out, and also a formula or recipe for the, well, I guess they're blueprints. Technically the game calls them blueprints, but as in any crafting system, they are a formula, a recipe, a blueprint, whatever. So 10 times air support charges we can also craft, but we don't have the materials for any of these, which is what Darvo is talking to us about now. So our next mission is going to be acquiring the resources that we need in order to build the Ascaris negator here, which will take the Ascaris out of us. And I believe if we look on Volt, we may see it has expanded even further, but I'm not seeing where, so maybe I'm wrong about that. And Darvo is not very fond of Ortis, who is not very fond of Darvo. Anyways, he's marked on our navigation where we should potentially go to find the resources that we need. We are going to be raiding a Corpus base. So far, the enemies we've been fighting are Grineer, which are essentially clones. And this is honestly like a futuristic human timeline. The Grineer are sort of genetically defunct clones that reproduce in cloning vats. Who we're going to face now are the Corpus. The Corpus are basically a cult that worships money. So, Space America. Kind of. And we're going to be raiding one of their systems, or one of their planets rather, so that we can gather some resources to build our Ascaris negator. And Darvo, the guy that we just rescued, is a Corpus member who doesn't necessarily fall in line with all of their greed thinking, and does like to help people out a little bit. I mean, he's still a salesman, but he does tell you where to get the stuff you need, and is generally going to provide us with deals throughout the game once we get a little further in. Alrighty, let's hop through here. Gonna just kind of make our way quickly to the caches. This is a cache recovery mission. So as I was mentioning before, you have different types of lockers. The green ones are ones you can normally open. The white ones represent resource caches. These ones are out in the open, and we actually have symbols telling us where to go. In legitimate missions that are not part of the prologue, you will not have indicators telling you where the caches are. You will have to actually search them out. Now that being said, you can complete the mission with only a single cache. However, the more caches you get, the better your rewards, so you generally want to find the number that you need for the reward you're looking for, which is something that I will explain at a later time when we go into sort of how the mission reward loops work, as well as how to use the wiki and some of the other resources that I've kind of compiled for this guide, including a build plan as far as your weapons go, so that you can maximize the usage of your weapon slots and not end up burning through them very, very quickly and having to spend plat on more weapon slots. As I said, we only have 50 plat to start with, so if we buy weapon slots at all, it means that we will likely not be able to buy more than one additional Warframe slot, which does not seem like a good idea to me as a new free-to-play player. The more frames you have, the more flexibility you have, as most frames specialize in doing a few simple tasks or even one task better than other frames do, so it helps to have a wider variety of those. Alright, you guys can die here. Volt is going to be fine for carrying you through the star chart. You won't really need any new frames to do that, but let's say, for example, that you wanted a frame that specialized in spy missions. You might want a stealth frame like Loki or Ivara, and that is going to require another frame slot. or perhaps you would rather have something that's specialized in damage, like a Mesa, that's also going to require another frame slot. So ideally, we want to be as sparing with our frame slots as we can be. Since that camera detected us, this little laser wall goes up. That's why I didn't run through there. We are taking some hits here, but it's not that big of a deal because we have plenty of shields and plenty of health. And now we're going to go ahead and open the last cache, and we are out of here. Theoretically, we should have enough loot to go ahead and build the thing now, and I wonder if they give you the required loot from the mission reward. That's entirely possible too, but I have been kind of breaking the nodes as we go because those do provide some of the resources that we will need. Is that more ferrite? No, that's rubido. Okay, so now we have sort of what we need. I'm gonna keep moving here. Don't want to stay too long and fight these guys. We don't really need to. Bye, guys. You just keep running towards the place that I used to be, and I'm gonna go over here. Okay, so now we're out. We hopefully have the resources we require. We got a couple more flawed mods here. Enemy Senses is an interesting one because it gives us enemy radar so we can see where the enemies are coming from. Equilibrium is an interesting one. Flow is actually one of the standard mods that you'll probably use on most of your frames, but we will not obviously want to use the flawed version. Now, I'm not sure if we got any non-flawed mods there. That's what I'm curious about. No, we did not. Alright, so our non-flawed mod selection is still only 2. That's okay. We'll get non-flawed mods once we get out of the prologue. So now we have the materials required to craft our Ascaris Negator. We're going to go ahead and do that. And I believe it's going to tell us we can rush this for 0 platinum. Normally, rushing costs you platinum, and you don't really want to do it. It's not a good use of your platinum. So we're going to go ahead and rush here just to get this done, because we don't need to wait the 17 seconds. And Vor is going to continue to taunt us in the background, because, you know, he doesn't like us. And now we're going to wait for the Ascaris Negator to be taken off, which should happen as soon as Vor is done talking his trash. Come on. Anytime now, Vor. Anytime now. I'm going to go take a nap while we wait for him. Okay, yes, Ortis, we understand. You don't want to be abandoned again. Can we take the Ascaris Negator off now? Can that happen? No? No, we can't? Did we actually claim it or no? I thought we did. Okay, we did. Alright, so there we go. That's us taking the Ascaris Negator off. Now, the bad news is that the Ascaris Negator didn't come on its own. It also came with a bomb that is still implanted in us, and Vor is looking to pop that bomb, so now we're gonna have to go take out Vor. Which is totally fine. I mean, he's deserved it, right? Look at all the things he's done to us. Now, while we're doing that, or rather, as we go to do that, I want to take a look at our credits here because there are some weapons that I might queue up in our Foundry just to make sure that we have something running for when we're done leveling these things. Oh, goody. Yeah, so now he's basically telling us he's going to blow us up since we pulled the Ascaris Negator. And we are waiting to... yeah. Alright, game, we get it. We're still messed up. We're still messed up. The Ascaris had a tampering failsafe, it's burrowed into you, and we need to get it out before Vor detonates it. Very cool. Don't mind that truck in the background. Okay, so we'll have to head over to a Grineer ship to find Vor. I'm waiting for the animation to stop, Ortis. I'm waiting for the animation to stop. Before we do that, though, I do want to come over here to the market and take a look at what weapons we want to be building here. One of the first weapons we're going to be building is a secondary weapon called the Bronco. Now, the reason we're building this is not because it's good. Personally, I dislike this weapon very, very much. It is a 2-shot shotgun, but we're going to be building it because at Mastery Rank 2, we have access to the Bronco, and at Mastery Rank 4, we have access to... where is it? The AK Bronco. And the AK Bronco is literally just 2 Broncos put together. So essentially what that means is if we take the Bronco here and we rank it to 30, that's 1 weapon slot, right? Then we temporarily use another weapon slot to build a second Bronco, and then we build the AK Bronco, and we have now had 2 weapons that we can rank up to 30, and we've only used 1 weapon slot. Once we're done with that, we will actually sell the AK Bronco because there is no reason to hold on to it. And the reason we're doing that one first is because, as I said, the Bronco is available at Mastery Rank 2, and the AK Bronco is available at Mastery Rank 4. So the reality is, by the time we're able to finish leveling the Bronco, we should be right where we need to be with that. And I didn't actually buy the blueprint here, but we will. We don't have the materials yet, which is okay. We will get those, and this gives us an idea what we should be keeping a lookout for. Alloy plates, neurodes, and polymer bundles. We'll probably get those just through the normal course of play, though, so I'm not going to stress about it too much. And here we go. We can go up here. We can also look at the star map and just click it, but we're going to go that way just because that is a more consistent method to find your missions and things, and I want to get everybody into the habit of using this. And we will be heading down to Earth. Oh, and we have somebody else in our squad because this is technically an assassination mission, I believe, where our goal is to fight a boss. That boss is Vor himself. So hello, Noob Tenno Frand. I like this person. They decided to fly in sync with us. They are our Fran now. Friends for life, guys. Friends for life. Let's see what they're running. Are they Excal? I bet you they're Excal. And yeah, they're Excal. They're Excal with the whole stealth loadout and the MK1 bow. Very interesting. Hey Excal, guess what? We can make you better too, because we are the Volt. Gonna chop that dude's legs out from under him as we go. Take him out as well. And we only got a very short boost of speed there before it ran out because we don't have any mods to extend the duration, which is unfortunate. But yeah, we were able to sort of buff Excal there for a second, which is something that Excal cannot do for us. In fact, at this point, if we've only got rank 2 abilities, then he probably only has rank 2 abilities as well, which means that he can AoE blind here, which is actually very useful on the first boss, but not vital. Like, we can still kill the first boss without that relatively easy. We're just gonna slash our way through these guys here. Big jump. Little glide here. And I don't think that Excal is keeping up with us very well. This is why movement becomes important too, is if you do missions with other people, and you really should, you are always in a better position if you do missions with other people, so you should kind of publicly queue for all of your missions as a new player. You will get left behind if you do not understand bullet jumping. So we're gonna wait a second for our Excal friend here to catch up. Hi, Excal friend. Welcome. Alright, it's this way, buddy. It's this way. Slashy, slashy. And it looks like Vor is over this direction, so that's where we're gonna head. Oh wait, we're not actually going after Vor yet, I suppose. I think we're actually looking for a nav segment that'll allow us to go to Vor, that's right. Interesting that it gave us the ability to queue up with other new players right here instead of making us wait until the mission to fight Vor. So in that case, we didn't actually need to really wait. This is interesting. There is no value in this quest to going and helping, or this mission to going and helping the civilian she's talking about. In fact, she'll tell you that, like, you wasted your time if you did it. And since you get no additional reward, you don't need to do it. You can if you prefer to be that kind of Tenno. If you want to go save the people, you can save the people, but you don't really have to, and there's no added value to doing so. So we're probably just going to head out here so that we can sooner head over and kill Vor. Our Excal friend might decide to go after the civilians. There's no way for us to know. However, if they do, that gives us a good opportunity to show this. No, they don't. Okay. So if you get to the extraction point before your ally does, it starts a timer. When that timer finishes, you will both extract from the mission. That is just the way that it works in most missions. There are some missions where it'll just extract you, like survival and defense. Basically, the unlimited missions, the ones that run forever, or for as long as you'd like to go, the endless class missions, you will just extract. If it's not an endless mission, your whole team will extract when the timer ticks up. Now, we do stay in our group here with our Excal friend. We're gonna go ahead and install our nav segment here. This one functions a little bit different. We just kind of put it in the floor, I guess. And then if we go to navigation here, we should now be able to take the mission to confront Captain Vor. And this should be it for our prologue. After this, we should be free of the reins. A little bit of coffee to keep me awake. This will be fun. This is us getting our revenge on Vor. Vor is also the first assassination mission you're going to face off in. Assassination missions work a little bit different. They're almost like sort of boss fights in dungeons in other MMOs. They have usually a unique mechanic that you kind of have to figure out. In the case of Vor, he has like a invulnerability window that you have to take into consideration. So you basically cannot do damage to him when he's invulnerable, and you have to try to compress your damage when he is not invulnerable. Hi there. Get wrecked. Okay, so we're just gonna stabby our way through the Grineer. We're gonna jump on top of a door frame because that's very useful. Once again, trying to take advantage of our static electricity here, so we're sprinting a little more than I would normally be doing. And we're just gonna buzz our way straight to Vor here. We can kill stuff on the way, but we're primarily doing that just for a little bit of extra affinity here. We don't really need to. Like, if we wanted to, and we might, we could just kind of skip everything and go straight for Vor here. Like, in fact, right here, we could have just jumped over that entirely. That's another good point. If you're going to take a big fall, there is an animation where you land and your guy is on kind of unsteady feet. However, if you slide just before you land, like this, it'll actually prevent you from having that animation. Why'd you go ahead and do that? Why'd you set the alarm off? That wasn't very nice. So we're just gonna keep moving through here. Honestly, our X-Scout buddy can catch up. It'll be fine. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, well, we kind of skipped through the cinematic, but you guys can watch that for yourself as you're playing. And Vor has just done his teleport thing. Hey, Vor. Ah, this is where me not being good with a bow shows really, really well. Oh, come on, it wasted our damage bonus to break the Rubido thing there. So Vor is not invulnerable right now, as we can see by his health bar, so I'm gonna go ahead and jolt him a little bit. You can see the electrical damage from Volt does actually damage shields quite a bit. We're gonna keep on hitting him with that. Oh, how did I miss that one? Alright, let's just keep weaving here. One thing to keep in mind as well is if you just go in with your melee, it'll probably be a lot faster. Okay, shields are down, he's gonna take up his invulnerability field, and then we have to fight the Grineer that he's kind of calling onto the platform. Then we can just wreck him some more. Hello, Vor. Yeah, that one has my name on it, right? Right? And we do not have the energy to jolt him again here, or I would. As you can see, our shields are kind of going down here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find us some cover while we wait for our shields to go up. Ooh, that was very tense. So we're going to use the roll mechanic here, like I was talking about, to reduce our damage and give us a chance to go ahead and rebuild our shields. As you can see, health does not naturally recover, but shields do. Gonna grab these electricity, or energy orbs rather. Those blue orbs that are falling on the ground, those are energy orbs. They will allow you to refill your energy bar here. Get him! Get him! And Vor's dead. Beautiful. Okay. So that could have gone smoother. Our shields went down pretty bad there in the middle, and it was because I kind of stopped focusing on killing the Grineer ads that were being spawned. But it's no big deal. We killed Vor, and now we're on our way out. We don't need to stick around. We don't need to fight anything else. We're done. We can just kind of get out of here. And when we get out of here, we should be out of our prologue as well. After the prologue, we will be able to see our first junction, and I can explain a little bit about how you're going to be unlocking new nodes on the star map. Come, little X-Scout friend, we shall wait for you. I got your back, buddy. You just come through and I will shoot anything that's behind you. What's-ha? Alright. Just gonna wait here for our X-Scout friend. Once again, though, you could see the movement difference between being comfortable with the bullet jump to get places and not. So it is a very, very important skill for you guys to master. Volt is up to rank 4, Skana's up to rank 5, so we can put our first mods on that. The MK1 Paris is at rank 4, and the Leto is rank 3. I actually think the Paris is going to end up lagging behind our ranks because I'm not good with it. You've done it, Tenno. You've done it, 10. You've done it, Tenno. Vor's Ascaris is gone, but your work has just begun. The origin system is in chaos, and it needs you, Tenno. Yes, yes, we're aware. We are the hero of the story. Vor was just a part of the Grineer machine, and we have seen that the Corpus have begun amassing weapons of their own. Alright, so we're kind of waiting for her to stop talking here so that we can have access to our full navigation. You have 4 unread messages. Alrighty, I know it's been a while since our last score, but I just found another Void Rift full of valuable... This time it's Ember and what, a new interior for the Orbiter. That place looks pretty snazzy with a filigree prime decoration, don't you think? Okay, so this is really weird. On my other account, I actually have a Twitch Prime account, So it's giving me the Twitch Prime rewards, but this is weird because it is from my other account, so I shouldn't be getting that. That is a notification for the Scarlet Spear event that's going on right now. Okay, so this is the actual keep going thing. This is a thing that everybody kind of got, so I will absolutely be glad to take that. That's a floof that we can put around on our orbiter somewhere if we'd like. And this one, I guess it's sending me this message because it might be somehow realizing that I have a Twitch Prime account, but at the same time, it's telling me to redeem in the browser, which means I probably won't be able to get it because the reality is this particular account isn't tied to my Twitch account. Okay, so we have completed Vor's Prize, and now we have full access to the star map. So if we go look at the star map, there are a couple things on the map that are worth pointing out. There is the Strata Relay, which is like a 10-0 base. We can go there to talk to Darvo. He will have plat deals for us. We can also go there to deal with syndicates, which is something we'll kind of go into more when we hit Mastery Rank 3. But currently, these blue flashing nodes are nodes that we have not completed. The locked nodes are nodes that we do not have access to because we haven't completed the nodes before them. And this junction right here is our objective moving forward. This is the thing that... No. I'm out of the group now, bud. Sorry, I get it. I know you want to go to Cetus, you go to Cetus, little Excal friend. Okay, so if we look at the Venus Junction here, complete the junction path and all goals below to gain access to a new planet. This is how we get new planets and new nodes. At the bottom, you will see a thing that's kind of looping through. Those are the potential rewards, or actually those are the entire rewards for completing the Venus Junction, my mistake. So you'll see some mods popping up down there. There's some credits. What else? There is a blueprint for the Furus gun. There is also the North Wind mod, which is a melee mod that adds cold damage, the Stormbringer mod, which I believe is a melee mod that adds electricity damage, and a blueprint for our very first companion. But in order to complete the Venus Junction, we first need to do all of the objectives listed on the Venus Junction, so that is complete Vor's Prize, which we've already done. We need to collect 20 mods, so we need 2 more. We need to apply 4 mods to a single Warframe or weapon, and we need to upgrade any mod to rank 2 or higher through the fusion process. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go find one of our mods that has already sort of not been flawed. We have a very small selection of non-flawed mods here. So is that a non-flawed redirection? Alrighty, that's perfect. So we'll actually take the non-flawed redirection here since, yeah, that's probably the best one for us to raise because we're going to want to raise that one anyway. And we'll just put 1 rank into this. They did give us 180 endo to start off with. So if we up this, we'll see that the drain on it goes from 4 to 5. Something to keep in mind, they don't just get stronger, they actually require more capacity off of your frame or your weapon as they upgrade. But that'll take the shield capacity bonus on it from 40% to 80%. It'll cost us 10 endo here and 483 credits. We're gonna go ahead and apply that fusion real quick. And now if we hit back here, we can go look at our frame and potentially upgrade our shields, which is something we will definitely be doing here. Although, based on our current... we may not actually be able to put this on. We can't. We need more ranks. If we get 1 more rank on our frame, we can put this upgraded redirection on, which is something we will do, because currently we are using 2 flawed mods that aren't that great anyway. In the meantime, we should be able to put our first mod onto our melee weapon here. We could go for Fury, which is non-flawed, but the reality is the 20% damage from pressure point is going to be a lot better. So we'll go with that. And then we've already kind of done mods on those. And if we come back up here to our navigation and we take a look, we should see that that junction objective to upgrade a mod is now checked off. Wonderful. So now all we need to do is collect 2 more mods and then apply 4 mods to a single Warframe or weapon, and that should allow us to get through the Venus Junction, which will give us a whole bunch of new goodies to play with. And to do that, we're going to have to also work our way to the Venus Junction, which we seem to already have access to because we did these missions right here. But we can basically do some of these missions on other nodes and use those to unlock the other parts of the junction that we need. The other thing we'll probably be taking a look at next episode is missions. So if we come over here, we have a quest category. You'll see all these things are fuzzed out. If they're fuzzed out, it's because you do not meet the prerequisites. So we're not quite there for any of these yet. But I think as soon as we complete the Venus Junction or reach a certain mastery rank, we should open up... We should open up a new one relatively quickly. Yeah, here we go. Saya's Vigil, Vor's Prize Quest, attain Mastery Rank 1, complete a bounty in Cetus, and talk to Konzu in Cetus. So real quick though, before we end, I do want to take a look at Mastery Rank and how that works. If you go to your profile here, and then you go My Profile, you can see that we need 360 more affinity to reach our next Mastery Rank. Currently, we are Mastery Rank 0. Once we hit Mastery Rank 1, we will gain access to that Saya's Vigil quest, and we will be doing that because that's going to give us access to a whole nother wealth of content. The content that comes from that quest is actually very, very useful for new players. It's something you can engage in, and there are some higher level bounties you can do that other people kind of help you through because you are a new player and they recognize that. And as they do, you'll be able to get some really nice, beneficial mods that can kind of fill the gap between your starter mods and your more mid to end game mods. That's going to be it for this one though. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to go ahead and give us a like or subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time. Bye!